1.
We're in Calabria, in the far south of Italy. Welcome to San Luca, a village of 4,000 inhabitants that appears to be very poor. And yet it's the center of the Ndrangheta, the richest and most powerful mafia in the world. Its tentacles have been spreading through these little cobbled streets for almost 200 years now. It has been here ever since. Strangely though, the old inhabitants of the village have never even heard of the Ndrangheta.
Isn't this village famous for the Ndrangheta? What's the Ndrangheta? It doesn't exist. We're good people here. Do you agree? Yes, I agree with him. We can steal anything because there's no money here. There's no work here. There's nothing.
In fact, the Calabrian Ndrangheta pulls in 53 billion euros a year. But it keeps a very low profile. A code of silence rules here. Every Sunday morning, whilst the men chat in the town square, the women of this very religious region go to mass dressed in black.
The body and blood of Jesus Christ our Lord.
In this small village, most people have a family member in the mafia, even the priest, Pino Strangio. He's the only person who agreed to talk to us about the Ndrangheta. While he chose the priesthood, 3 of his cousins are in prison.
They chose their path. They're all in their 30s. And one of them has been in prison for over 10 years now, for drug offenses.
It's rare for a Calabrian like Pino Strangio to admit openly to their family's crimes. But there's no shortage of stories like his. The Ndrangheta is everywhere. Calabria is the toe of Italy, just across from Sicily. It's also the birthplace of the Ndrangheta. Nearly 200 clans divide up the region, and their annual earnings are 53 billion euros, which is as much as McDonald's and IKEA combined. The Ndrangheta is powerful and exists in every corner of the world. Its primary source of income is drugs. They're the world leaders in the market.
This is where drugs come into Europe, because the port is controlled by the Ndrangheta.
The Guardia di Finanza regularly makes spectacular drug seizures.
With this, you could buy a small apartment in Paris.
Each Ndrangheta family lines its pockets by demanding pizzo, mafia protection money. One man filmed the extortions he was subject to.
There, I'm putting a wad of 10 million lire on the table.
And those who refuse to pay are killed.
I'll fight until I die. I just hope it's a natural death.
Those who speak out are living on borrowed time.
This window can withstand a Kalashnikov. It means I can drink my coffee without being in danger.
Most of the Ndrangheta's victims come from within its own ranks. The Calabrian mafia is heavily armed and more than ready to use firearms to settle its scores. The worst enemy of the Ndrangheta is the anti-mafia prosecutor, Nicola Gratteri. He's under 24-hour protection. He has headed long inquiries that have brought down dozens of mafia bosses. He has also broken the Ndrangheta's codes.
And you'll be made to kill your father. If it's deemed necessary, you'll be made to kill your father,
But he has
your brother, your
difficulty
sister,
getting
your whole
witnesses.
family.
This mafia has no overall leader. It's a collection of families and there are no informants. New members swear never to betray the family. The Italian police managed to film an induction, which we can see in this very rare footage.
Canone dovete rispondere. Either you obey the rules or vote, or you keep a bullet-loaded risuno to usage on yourself.
We'll be investigating this shadowy and ultra-Catholic countryside mafia, its hidden
Quello
fortune, and its control over this part of the world. It is 5 a.m. In this southern Italian port, law enforcement officers are at the ready. This is Gioia Tauro, 50 kilometers from Reggio, in western Calabria. In his impeccable uniform with his well-knotted tie, Alessandro Barbera, a colonel in the Guardia di Finanza, is leading this large-scale anti-drug operation. He has had a tip-off. An inbound ship is carrying a large quantity of...
This is the ship.
È la nave che attualmente sta trasportando questi container provenienti dal Sud America.
This ship is the target. The Ndrangheta has set up members of its mafia families in Colombia, Ecuador and Mexico to buy the drugs produced there and send them to the USA, Europe, Australia. The narcotics are sent all over the world, wherever the Ndrangheta has a presence. Half the drugs the mafia sell in Europe come through the port of Gioia Tauro in Calabria. For each raid, Colonel Barbera has about 30 men watching over the unloading. He and his men watch the dock workers closely. According to a recent official report into the mafia, many of them are members of the Ndrangheta.
This is where the drugs come into Europe, because this port is controlled by who? Ndrangheta.
It's a war of attrition between Colonel Barbera and the Ndrangheta. For years now, any suspect ship has been escorted by customs service boats to make sure the drugs aren't thrown overboard and picked up by speedboats before the ship arrives in port.
It's a daily battle between us and the Ndrangheta. They try to get past us, and we do everything we can to arrest them. As soon as we step up certain types of checks, this criminal organization immediately finds a new way to hide what they're doing.
And in this cat-and-mouse game, the Calabrian mafia is always one step ahead.
How many containers have you unloaded? Since the start of the operation, at about 7 o'clock this morning, we've unloaded 142 containers.
Over 1,000 containers to check. It's a colossal task. But the tip-off the colonel received is very precise, and 54 of them are soon identified. They're carrying bananas. Hundreds of boxes are emptied from each container and inspected.
What is the dog looking for? A scent. A scent that he associates with a game. Usually here we find cocaine.
Finally, the men of the Guardia turn their attention to one container in particular. The colonel doesn't want to reveal the details of what put them on the scent while the investigation is still going. But it's clear that this container has a false bottom. He has it stripped. Police officers film it. In a few minutes, the container is taken apart. In the bottom, lead sheets are covering something. The lead can fool the customs scanning machines.
What is that? It's a brick of...
The false bottom is stuffed full of drugs.
Very good. How many are there? Have you counted them? I haven't finished yet. But I'd say there's about 50 kilos.
According to the colonel, this is something new. The cocaine business is so profitable for the Ndrangheta that the mafia spends a fortune bribing many people in the transport chain, all the way to the container manufacturers.
As you can see, this container was specifically created to accommodate a false bottom. This false bottom was custom made to conceal the cocaine.
According to the colonel, this is something new. The cocaine business is so profitable for the Ndrangheta that the mafia spends a fortune bribing many people in the transport chain, all the way to the container manufacturers. The pine trees now number in the dozens, so many of them that it takes several people to transport them.
Does everything fit in one car? No. We put some in another car.
The drug-containing pine cones are transported to the Guardia di Finanza barracks on the port of Gioia Tauro. The pins are numbered, then weighed, one after the other.
1.185 kilograms.
In total, 101 cocaine pins.
1.195 kilograms. This package weighs approximately 1.2 kilogram. On average, for retail consumption. Each kilo of cocaine is cut 4 times. A kilo becomes roughly 4 kilos. On average, 1 gram of cocaine sells for 60 euros on the market. So, if you count quickly, each 1 kilogram package brings in approximately 250,000 euros to the coffers of criminal organizations. With a kilo like that, we could buy a small apartment in Paris. 1 kilogram, 185. This is the last one. So, show me the total. 118 kilograms, 570.
118 kilograms of cocaine purchased from producers according to United Nations experts. 236,000 euros, with a resale value of over 28 million euros, makes this one of the biggest seizures of the year for Italian authorities. There it is, the white powder, and a colossal loss for the Ndrangheta. Now they need to verify that it is indeed cocaine through chemical testing. The liquid turns dark blue, sign of very pure cocaine. A new investigation begins. Identify the cartel that ships the cocaine. The starting point, this logo. Look, there is this symbol with 2 letters.
Investigations into the Ndrangheta are headed by an anti-mafia prosecutor. He's one of Italy's most threatened men. He has an armored car, an armed escort, and 3 bodyguards with him constantly. He has lived like this for 26 years. Nicholas Gratteri has sent over 1,000 mafiosos to prison. His mission has its roots here, in this Calabrian country school, where the children of the Ndrangheta members made the rules.
That was my classroom on the 1st floor. From there, I could breathe their violence. which started on the pavement outside and reached me even in the classroom. It was the complete opposite of what my family had taught me.
Nicholas Gratteri has dedicated his life to fighting the Ndrangheta, a long way from the path taken by his classmates.
Some of them went into normal professions, but many others were killed, and others are in prison. How many? At least 10 are inside. And 6 or 7 are dead.
Nicola Gratteri gets so many death threats because he's not content with just putting criminals in prison. He has also managed to figure out how the Ndrangheta works and has discovered the rituals that govern entry into this secret society.
The initiation process lasts a year or 2. During that time, the person has to perform certain acts of courage to prove what he's capable of, that he's tough enough.
How do you join the Ndrangheta? The word comes from the Greek and means courage or fervor. Recently, using hidden cameras, Nicola Gratteri's men managed to film an induction.
Repeat after
me.
I swear to renounce everything up to the 7th generation, the entire criminal society recognized by me until now,
to preserve the honor
of my brothers full of wisdom.
The new member becomes part of a family for life. If he ever betrays it, he'll either be judged by his peers or commit.
The poison oath.
The vow of poison.
Cyanide,
a capsule.
To poison you.
It's a capsule. Cyanide to poison yourself. Or you take a gun.
Or else you take a firearm. Bullets in the magazine, you must always keep one. That one is for you.
That one's for you.
From that moment on, only the Ndrangheta exists. If it's deemed necessary, you'll be made to kill your father, your brother, your sister, your whole family, to protect the existence of the Ndrangheta. That is paramount.
In exchange for his services, the Ndrangheta gives the new member the protection of the clan and a comfortable income, as long as he respects the rules. Nicola Gratteri knows the punishments meted out to those who don't. There are plenty of examples.
Depending on the offense, the penalty might be an exclusion from meetings for 3 or 4 months. You might have your head shoved in a toilet or in a coal heap, be made to wear an animal-esque head, or be urinated on. They're acts of humiliation, which may go as far as death.
The judge has even worked out the secret codes used by certain clans in their confidential communications.
This is one. Of the 30 codes we know so far, written by Ndrangheta members.
This information has been built up over nearly 30 years of investigations and raids. This is the latest seizure from a few months ago. These symbols represent the hierarchical structure of one of the clans of San Luca, the stronghold of the Calabrian mafia. It took years of work for Judge Gratteri to learn everything about the mafia. His investigations can last for years. His dragnet operations are often spectacular. It is 2 a.m. at the Criminal Investigation Division of Reggio di Calabria. 200 police officers are mobilized by the judge for a very large anti-mafia operation. Tonight, 29 people suspected of being mafia bosses are going to be arrested for rigging procurement contracts and widespread extortion. A few minutes before leaving, envelopes are distributed to each team with information about the targets. Until now, only a handful of officers knew who the judge was targeting to avoid any leaks by corrupt agents.
For the team making the arrest, the target is kept secret until the last team moment.
Inspector D'Agostino is in charge of arresting a godfather, who is the main target of the operation, Salvatore Aquino. Aquino is an important figure in the Ndrangheta. He's the 70-year-old head of a powerful clan that rules over the Gioia Tauro, the municipality next to Siderno. He was already sentenced to 15 years in prison in 1999 for international cocaine trafficking. He's now on probation. It's a family business. His nephews are currently in prison. They were arrested 3 years ago while on the run. Here they are on the day of their arrest, filmed by the Carabinieri. They were found in these two hiding places, perfectly concealed in the basement of a house, one under a movable staircase. The other in this false ceiling. To escape the police, mafiosi often use this kind of bunker. They can spend months or even years living in one. On the other side of the car park, Matteo and his men also find out the identity of the man there to arrest,
Polonio
Leonardo Capogreco, 38 years old,
124.
who belongs to the Commisso family of
The
Siderno.
6th of January,
He's suspected of
1954.
corruption and extortion.
Hario dell'Olonio,
It's alleged that
1979.
he's the clan accountant.
These are important people in the Ndrangheta. The Calabria, Ndrangheta.
The officers will strike simultaneously to avoid any information getting out and any suspects slipping through the net. Just before setting off, it's time for final instructions.
I want you to stay with him from the moment we go in. While he's pissing, while he's changing, while he's packing his bag, I want you with him. We're going into a part of Calabria where this clan we're hitting already has quite a past, a history. Its members have been implicated in several investigations.
The officers have neither bulletproof vests nor heavy weapons. Mafiosi don't put up any resistance. They leave it to their army of lawyers to get them out of prison, with no fuss.
Polizia.
Over 60 police cars leave the car park in convoy. 200 men of the Criminal Investigation Division sweep across Calabria. An hour later, the vehicles break up and head to the 3 target towns. Leonardo Capogreco lives in this large villa. Although the officers have been discreet, they come to the attention of the neighbor's dog. They need to get into the garden quickly by climbing over the fence. This officer is responsible for watching the back of the house.
The house, the corners. Got it?
At the front of the house, 3 men are in the front line. A 4th stays back, watching for any movement at the windows.
We're with the police. So I see. We're here to do a search. Be my guest. Are you alone in the house? Are you alone? Yes.
Leonardo Capogreco doesn't seem troubled, despite this nighttime intrusion. Inside the house, everything seems quiet, but the police officers remain cautious.
Do you have any firearms here? No. I have a license to carry, but I don't have any here.
The investigators search the house. Officially, this man works in construction, but he's suspected of laundering money for the Ndrangheta. No doubt he doesn't keep money hidden at home. The investigators are really looking for accounts documents that might prove the money laundering.
We found some things that might be useful. But generally, we need more time to check everything. Back at the office, we'll be able to take our time to look at all this material that we're taking away with us.
Capo Greco is taken away to the police headquarters. At the same time, 5 kilometers away, the men of the Criminal Investigation Division are taking stock of the situation with the uniformed officers who have been staking out these premises. They're going to arrest the man considered to be the godfather of the clan, the 70-year-old Salvatore Aquino.
Are there any CCTV cameras? Well, there are lights everywhere. There are big, bright spotlights lighting up the entrance to the building. Okay, let's go.
They head off to the godfather's home. Once there, surprisingly, they find that this mafioso, who's allegedly sitting on an illegal fortune of tens of millions of euros, doesn't live in a fancy mansion. He has chosen instead to build an apartment block to house his whole family. He lives in a modest third-floor apartment. In this region, the mafia heads keep things low-key, at least on the surface.
Police search. You have a warrant? Yes, we've got everything. Everything? You can get dressed. I need to get dressed? And get your papers. And pack a bag.
The arrested man appears to be a quiet grandfather, a long way from the image of a mafioso in a pinstripe suit with a fat cigar. There are no firearms or bodyguards at his home. The police spend 2 hours looking for documents to prove that he rigs the market for procurement contracts.
We're taking you to the office. The anti-mafia branch.
It's 7 a.m. back in Reggio di Calabria. The 29 arrested men have been brought to the police headquarters, in front of which the friends and family of the suspects have gathered. They'll be taken into custody, but first the police parade the suspects in front of the cameras, in order of importance. It's a scene with a PR message for the whole of Calabrian society. Salvatore Aquino, the alleged godfather, is the first to be shown off to the Italian media. Leonardo Capogreco comes out in 4th place. They're all accused of aggravated extortion and the rigging of procurement contracts, but above all, with mafia association. A crime that only exists in Italy. It allows someone to be convicted as soon as a link is established between him and a criminal organization. The maximum penalty is 15 years in prison. Judge Gratteri has invited around 30 journalists to his press conference. Things are not dealt with in the same way as they are in the rest of Europe. They go through all the details of the night's operation, the identities of the arrested men, and the offences they are charged with are all given to the journalists. It's a historic moment for the prosecutor.
It's a great day for the public prosecutor's office and for the law enforcement agencies.
The members of the Ndrangheta arrested tonight are leading members of the Calabrian mafia. Each big arrest like this gives the judge the chance to appeal directly to public opinion. Faced with the world's most powerful mafia, Nicola Gratteri wants to get the message across that the Italian state is in control of Calabria.
We do these press conferences to show people that they can have faith in us, that the state is there, that they need to go to the police and the Carabinieri to expose members of the mafia.
Most of the people arrested that night are still in prison. However, Salvatore Aquino, the alleged boss, was released a month later. As usual, his lawyers found a loophole, the necessary procedural irregularity. "50 kilometers away from Reggio, in the town of Palmi, there's a man who lives constantly in fear. We're going to meet him in this strange building. With 38 surveillance cameras, barbed wire on the compound walls, and elite armed police officers in the courtyard. This is the home of Gaetano Safiotti. His home has become his prison. Gaetano has a wife and a child, but we won't film them. He doesn't want to put them in danger, because there's a price on his head.
You always take your coffee at home? Yes, never at a cafe? Can tea go to cafes anymore? My situation is a bit complex. A lot of cafes won't have me because they're afraid of an attack. And then it inconveniences the other customers because the cafe has to be swept for explosives first. That's all a bit complicated.
Gaetano runs a company that makes concrete. He's under threat of death from the Ndrangheta because they consider him to be shamed for having broken the omertà, the code of silence. To survive, he has had to transform his house into a bunker.
This is a bulletproof window that can withstand a Kalashnikov. It means I can drink my coffee without being in danger. You mean there's no risk? There's no risk of being attacked. How long have you lived behind this window? Today makes 12 years, 9 months and 23 days. But that makes 12 years, 9 months and 23 days of feeling like a free man. It may seem paradoxical, but before that, it was hell.
The authorities have suggested other countermeasures to prevent any kind of attack.
On this side that goes directly onto the road, we had to raise the height of the wall, and we reinforced it with sheets of metal to stop any bullets that might be fired from the street. At the top, we closed it off with a kind of roof to stop anyone throwing a bomb.
It all started in the early 2000s. For 20 years, Gaetano had been paying the pizzo, the mafia protection money.
He came and sat here. He would call first, get the money ready. I'll come at 3 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. He gave you a time, and you had to have the money ready. And you had to pay in cash. In cash, of course, so it couldn't be traced. He'd sit on one of these chairs, and I'd already have the money ready. I'd take it out and hand it over.
By 2001, the Ndrangheta had already extorted 2 million euros from him. Time and again, Gaetano had tried not paying them, but each time the mafia families punished his attempts to rebel.
This is one of the trucks that was burned. That was when I was refusing to pay, and they retaliated. They set fire to trucks and diggers.
In all, they destroyed over 30 construction site vehicles. One of his employees was forced to set fire to his machine himself, while a mafia heavy held a gun to his head. As time went by, the sums demanded of him increased. When he couldn't take any more, Gaetano finally decided to act.
That's a surveillance camera set into the wall, which I used to record all the meetings I was forced to have with the men of the Ndrangheta.
For months, he recorded images of the extortions. As well as paying the pizzo to the Palmi family where he works, he also had to give money to the Rosarno and Gioia Tauro clans. who controlled the neighboring towns that he passed through to deliver materials to his clients. That's where the Ndrangheta differs from other mafias, where there's one head of the whole organization. In Calabria, the region is divided into over 160 areas, each of which has its own boss. That means there's a pizzo to pay to each area he passed through. Gaetano was a victim of extortion by 3 different clans.
3 times for the same job, to 3 different clans. And that's how it works. It's as though you go to a foreign country and you have to pay customs charges just because you're passing through.
Gaetano built up several hours of recordings, dozens of examples of his daily nightmare from all times of day.
I open the drawer. I take a wad of 10 million lire as it was then, and I put it on the table while showing it to the camera.
10 million lira, over 7,000 euros. To make sure he could convince the police, Gaetano made a careful plan and took a lot of risks. Here, he clearly shows to the camera the wad of money he's holding in his hand, proof of the extortion. But one day, a mafioso noticed that something had changed in his office.
At this point, he notices the surveillance camera, and he says, "That's your problem. What do I care about a surveillance camera?"
The man gives Gaetano a warning, but he stays because he's convinced that Gaetano is too frightened to do anything, that the omertà, as always, will keep him quiet. But Gaetano decided he would break the code of silence. He took his recordings to the police. 48 members of 3 families were arrested and received sentences of up to 16 years in prison. The police also seized property worth 50 million euros. With the arrests, Gaetano was put under pressure to retract his accusations and started receiving death threats.
You'll soon have 45 pistol bullets in your body. So you want to just leave Palmi, you'll leave this earth. It's an obvious threat, an obvious threat. 1 pistol bullet for each person arrested.
The Ndrangheta, which has had its tentacles everywhere, put pressure on his clients and his suppliers. Gaetano's business lost 90% of its turnover.
Just after filing my complaint, it was like the apocalypse. Everyone disappeared. My workers, the banks, my suppliers, my clients. It was a desert.
Oh, salutatemi. Tutto così. Non poco più.
Gaetano has become shamed, as they call it in Calabria. Nevertheless, 13 years later, he feels free.
That's my life. It has been reduced to 20 paces, the distance between my house and the office. After having my coffee, that's the only journey I do, from one building to the other. That's the life of someone who has chosen to live legally. It's the price I have to pay, but I'm happy to pay it.
Thanks to all this protection, Gaetano is still alive, but he's confined to his home. His is an isolated case in Calabria, because those who stand up to the mafia there usually pay with their lives. In Salerno alone, there are 32 recent unsolved murders. The Ndrangheta is believed to be behind them all, but no one will come forward. Mario has been going to the cemetery 4 days a week for 10 years now, still mourning his son, who was shot in the head.
There's no marble slab. I didn't want to put it up. It's like it's all over if I put the marble up. This tomb will always stay like this. Mainly because it's a life that has been stolen.
Mario has devoted his life to his son's memory so that justice can be done. San Luca was killed for defending his father-in-law, who was a victim of extortion.
In all the family cars, there's a photo of Gianluca.
Unlike many families in Salerno, Mario decided not to draw a veil over Gianluca's death. To get the murderer convicted, Mario filed a civil lawsuit, which is very rare in this region. Now, the murderer may be released because of procedural irregularity. To get him to pull out of the appeal, the Ndrangheta is putting pressure on him again.
Because I've been threatened. These cameras mean I can watch what's happening in front. And who's coming to my house?
The clan that killed his son have become increasingly intimidating since the start of the legal proceedings, nearly 10 years ago.
You see here? What are those? They're bullet holes. Who fired them? No one knows who fired them. How am I supposed to know?
The latest threat was a few months ago.
I found a can of petrol just in front of the door. It's an act of intimidation. Tell me to shut up. Keep quiet. Was it during the trial? After the trial? During the trial. It was a clear signal.
In spite of the risks, Mario is doing everything he can to keep his son's murderer behind bars.
RagionidissicurezzA. Deli dati personali. Di las 196. RagionidissicurezzA. Did you never think about stopping? Attenzione. RagionidissicurezzA. Personality. D1. RagionidissicurezzA. Did you never think about stopping?
Through extortion and drug trafficking,
Personality.
the Ndrangheta rakes in billions in cash every year. They
Did you never
launder
think
that money
about
through
stopping?
sophisticated financial
Giving in
arrangements
to the intimidation.
set up in tax
What?
havens.
Stopping? Absolutely
Only a small
not.
part
No.
of it is invested in Calabria.
The thought has never
in
occurred to
property.
me.
In
You'll fight
Brancaleone,
until the end?
Salvatore
I'll
Aquino is
fight
suspected
until
of being
I die.
associated with another
I
godfather.
just hope it's a natural
Together,
death.
they laundered 200 million euros by investing their dirty money in this property development aimed at British people looking for some sunshine. 6 years ago, Marie decided to move from England to southern Italy.
This is the swimming pool on Emerald.
Gioiello del mare. Benvenuti nel vostro sogno.
Gioiello del Mare. In English, Jewel of the Sea. A charming complex of 400 apartments and several villas with sea views and 4 swimming pools. That's how the promotional DVD sold the dream to clients like Marie. And let's not forget the shopping centre at the foot of the apartment block, the tennis courts and the splendid golf course. It's not how things have turned out today. In 2012, the police stopped all the building work. That was when Marie discovered that this property development was in fact a large money laundering operation for the Ndrangheta.
The finance police have come and sealed the doors. They've seized all the unsold, uncompleted properties.
Since then, Marie has lived here alone. She is completely trapped. She doesn't have her flat in London anymore, but she can't sell this one in Brancaleone while the investigation is still ongoing.
It is difficult because we don't know what's going to happen.
And this is all your savings?
This is my life savings put into a lovely apartment here. And it's a building site, as you can see.
The inquiries have been going on for 5 years now. The case involves 5 corrupt local officials and a frontman who is believed to have set up this very shady property deal on behalf of the Ndrangheta godfathers. We caught up with the man 5 kilometers from the complex. He runs this little car dealership, far removed from prestige properties. This is the man with the blue sweater. He's known to the Italian authorities and is currently under house arrest. He has served a prison term for international heroin trafficking and is considered to be an influential member of the Ndrangheta. We filmed him with a hidden camera. He claims that everything about the property development is legal and that the money came from bank loans, not from the mafia.
They've made a big mistake. A very big mistake. Just huge. The whole thing is a setup. It's all a lie.
The man claims there's a conspiracy aimed at putting him back behind bars.
Why did you never manage to finish the building work? Because they arrested me. The authorities arrested me. It's all a conspiracy between the local politicians and judges.
So the car dealer is apparently just an honest businessman. Nevertheless, he faces 15 years in prison for his alleged involvement in money laundering. Until the trial is over, these apartments will remain sealed.
SE.
Every year, the Italian authorities confiscate dozens of buildings built by the mafia. Whether it's the clans that control the villages of the Aspromonte, or the families that control whole neighborhoods of Reggio di Calabria, the capital of the region. Croce Vallanidi is a poor suburb of the town, a run-down area where houses stand next to buildings that are unfinished but already lived in. The mafiosi here don't hide their wealth. The local godfather has even had his comfortable house built on the top of the hill. But he was convicted of murder before he ever had the chance to live in it. It was confiscated and handed over to the Observatory of the Ndrangheta, an anti-mafia charity that mainly helps young offenders to get back on the straight and narrow. Vincenzo, the director, now uses the house.
This is the view from the balcony. So this meant the boss could look out over all his territory? Yes, right. He had a panoramic view over the whole area.
Vista panoramica della zona abbastanza completa.
Only the best materials were used, like the marble floor and ceiling in this bathroom, for example.
This is the bathroom
Era uno dei bagni che
that he had built
costruendo.
With a sea view.
For the past 2 months, Vincenzo and his colleagues at the observatory have been accepting young people who have been involved with the law. These young people have dealt drugs or stolen a car.
Ragazzi, andiamo.
Most of them come into contact with the Ndrangheta every day. The juvenile justice system makes them follow a rehabilitation program at the observatory. It aims to shatter the image of the mafia and its promises of easy money.
This is one of the most important places. It's where most of the criminals on the run hide out.
To get through to these young people, Vincenzo shows them around a secret room.
It's more than important. It's symbolic because it represents a lifestyle that is so often glamorized. In order to demystify it, we first try to make them understand that being a boss in the mafia, ISNT, something desirable. All this ISNT, desirable at all.
At the bottom of this little ladder is a small room of 10 square meters with very basic facilities. The Godfather's plans had included a bunker, but he was sent to prison before it was completed. Vincenzo has turned it into a replica of a famous Calabrian hideout.
Ecco, questa è una ricostruzione abbastanza fedele.
It's a quite faithful reproduction of a bunker from 10 or 15 years ago, used by Bellocco, a mafioso from Rosarno. When he was found, they saw this phrase on the wall: God, protect me in this bunker. Bunker, O-U-N. And he had put up all these religious images to protect him. He also had these wolves, because in the mafia he was nicknamed the Wolf. What do you think, guys? It's obviously quite difficult to live like this. Really harsh. For me, it's like being in prison, living underground. It's living like a rat.
Vincenzo brings up the delicate subject of belonging to the Ndrangheta.
poi
When you join, you completely lose your freedom. You're no longer your own boss. You belong to someone else. Your freedom, your lifestyle, they're completely dependent on someone else. Your whole self no longer exists, it's subject to the boss.
Ma secondo te allora cos'è che affascina?
So what do you think is the fascination? Having money and a reputation, having everything you want. Because, for a young guy our age, having money, or a nice car, well, these days, not many people can afford that. And also it's about standing out, looking like someone important. That's the fascination.
Vincenzo does preventative work using the assets seized from the mafia. Another man has taken over some of them too, to build them up and create jobs. His name is Pino De Masi. Everyone knows him in Italy, because he was the first priest to refuse to officiate at the funeral of a godfather, a punishment more humiliating than prison for these so religious criminals.
Hello. How's it going?
These days, Pino De Masi continues to slap them in the face. He has created a cooperative to manage and run the assets seized from the mafia.
The confiscated land that the cooperative now manages all belong to important Ndrangheta families. Very well-known names that still control a significant share of the national economy.
Don Pino has created jobs for dozens of people. In a region with 40% unemployment, the priest wants people to see that it is possible to work legally. In spite of the pressure put on his employees by the Ndrangheta.
People sometimes say, but you're crazy. What have you gone and done? But in the end, it's the result that counts. We create jobs. Fear is just an emotion. And your emotions can be mastered.
The warnings are not just hot air. The mafia has already shown that. They have been on Pino De Masi's back since he took over the neighboring olive groves. Don Pino is meeting Domenico, the president of the cooperative.
Ah, Domenico. How's it all going? Hello. We've just finished the harvest.
He wants to show us the traces of the reprisals.
Look here. You can still see the old stump. We covered it with earth. Just before the confiscation was finalized, before the writ was issued, they came here with trucks and chainsaws and cut down these trees. They were hundreds of years old. Some of them were very tall, 10 or 15 meters.
6 years ago, in a single night, the Ndrangheta cut down these 640 ancient olive trees to leave nothing for Pino De Masi. It's said that the mafia sold the wood for over 600,000 euros. 3 years ago, the mafia again tried to convince him that this land belonged to them. The sad fate of this olive grove was that hundreds of trees were set on fire. The godfathers of the local clan who organized this destruction were sentenced last year to 16 years in prison. But these long sentences have done nothing to calm Pino De Masi's anger.
Seeing the site in this state, seeing things like this, it makes you very angry. Cutting down these trees doesn't just mean we're taking our money back. It means these trees belong to us and no one else.
With thousands of young people out of work and often just drifting through life, the Ndrangheta won't be disappearing from the Calabrian landscape anytime soon, unless it finds itself facing a new and powerful enemy. The church could be that enemy. Pope Francis visited Calabria last year.
Ndrangheta is the adoration of evil and contempt of the common good. They are not in communion with God. They are excommunicated.
Excommunication, the greatest and most shameful of punishments for these criminals who venerate the Virgin Mary and St. Michael, the Archangel.